Country Dad says, let's do this.
Hey, Country Dad, how you doing? Trying to get things figured out here real quick. Been a while since we've done one of these.
All I can see is that.
There we go. Let me turn my volume down. All right. Well, we know Country Dad's here. I think you're the only one here. We'll let a few more people climb on real quick. But we can get started. How are you guys doing down in Oklahoma?
Pretty.
Have you got about the same weather we have here? We've been getting a lot of cool weather lately. The tomatoes really aren't starting to come on yet. Thought I did that. Let's see.
107. Holy cow.
Ooh, man, yeah, you're getting a little more warmer weather than we are. Our tomatoes won't turn red. Driving me crazy.
We're in a heat advisory tomorrow, though.
Yeah, but just like today, it didn't get as hot as it was supposed to today. Who else do we got here?
Cindy Holmes, Jack's mama.
Cindy! Good to see you. I haven't seen you since March. Jack's mama, I don't know if we've had you on before. Welcome. Sam's here also. Country Fun. Tell us what's with the food. We plan on doing a video on our weight loss journey and all that stuff, and doing some of our food tips and recipes and stuff that we've been doing. Let's see, Jack's mama says, I've been here on Facebook under another name. There, okay. If you guys don't know, Kelly runs the Facebook page, so you can go see a lot of the stuff that she does on the Facebook page. I mostly do the YouTube page, but Kelly's around on the weekends and stuff, and we get her into videos, especially with the freeze drying and all that. But we've had so much going on here at the homestead. It's been crazy with summer and the garden season going. Lots and lots of freeze drying. I'm so proud of this lady here. She's really put that freeze dryer to use this year. The pantry's looking phenomenal. Becky, is it Teddy?
She's also on the Facebook page.
Forgive me if I butchered your name.
That's all right, Cindy. She said she didn't have Facebook.
How's your back since you lost your weight? Funny thing is, my back pain kind of coincided with my weight loss, so it was kind of weird. And I think maybe my body was readjusting, not carrying all that weight. So, but slowly but surely, my back pain or stenosis or whatever they want to call it has been kind of going away. And the weird thing is, the only time I get it now is in the morning. If I end up going to bed and lay flat, when I get up in the morning, I get that sharp pain and kind of the muscle spasm. But if I end up sleeping in my chair all night, I don't get it. I can hop right up. Kind of weird. But it's been getting better. It hasn't slowed me down doing anything. So it's been nice. I've got the energy now, and I can get out and do stuff. Let's see, Country Fun. Keep it up. So glad you've got the A1C down. You both look and feel wonderful. Yes. I was so happy to get my A1C down. Was it 6.0?
Yep.
It was impressive. The doc was really impressed.
What was the previous one? 7.4 or something? So in 3 months, you dropped it a point and a half.
If you haven't heard, the whole reason this thing came about was my last doctor's appointment. Well, the one prior to that, she started talking about putting me on insulin, and I've got lots of family that are on insulin and dialysis and all this other stuff, and losing parts of their body and stuff because of diabetes. I just don't want to go down that road. I don't want to be taking insulin shots every day. I don't think they were going to be the everyday shots, but you never know, I might have ended up there. So I told the doctor, I said, give me 3 months. I'm not starting to take insulin. Let me come back and I'll change your mind.
Oh, it wasn't just your diabetes either. It was your liver and your kidneys were horrible.
My liver and my kidney functions were going down. Every time I would get a blood test, it was slowly decreasing, getting worse and worse, or elevating, getting worse. So we were worried about that, being on all the medication and all that. So I decided that it was time, and I've dieted before, especially this diet that I do and she kind of does. It was, and I don't want you people to hate me for this, but it was so easy to lose weight, I just wasn't worried about doing it because of the diet that I follow. I'm never hungry or anything like that, so I always just think, well, I'll just diet when I need to. Well, it was time. So this time I stuck with it. Last time I lost 50 pounds, but I just kind of gained it back because it was so easy to do. I said, well, I'll just do it again, because the diabetic thing really wasn't on the forefront back then. And it was super easy because my wife at the time, she would do all my meals for me. I didn't have to do anything. It was even easier. But even with me doing the meals now, we kind of eat separately now. It's kind of weird. And I feel bad because when I eat, I'm not making something for her like I normally do, but she doesn't mind kind of doing her own thing. So I'll have something that sounds good to me and she'll have something that sounds good to her, but we just make sure we got the food in the house, and it goes together so fast, it's really easy. So, Cindy, how's Brian doing? I haven't heard from him in a while. I've been meaning to call him. So, we've got the garden in full swing. In fact, some of it's getting ready to be pulled out tomorrow. I think my cousin's kid is going to come out and help, not because I have to have her come out, but they're kind of doing a fundraiser for their dance and cheer team, so they want to come out and earn some money. So she's going to come out and help me in the garden. So we're going to be pulling a lot of the stuff that's been producing so crazy this year. The broccoli, I don't know how much broccoli we've got off those plants. It keeps sending the side shoots out. And the cauliflower, which I didn't know, it was sending side shoots out. I went and got a cauliflower today for supper that was that big, and it wasn't the big main head, it was the one that come out the side. So I had no idea cauliflower did that, even though I've been gardening for years. And even the cabbages, once we harvested the heads of cabbage, they're shooting little heads of cabbage out the side. Pretty crazy.
2 or 3 a plant.
Yeah. So we're going to start pulling some stuff up. We're still waiting on tomatoes. I planted that whole row of San Marzano tomatoes this year. We need to get some tomatoes in the root cellar, but the weather has not been cooperating. We've been having overcast days and cooler days. We had fog today. Went out to an auction this morning. It was foggy in August. So pretty nuts.
That's the humidity hanging in the air. It's like 99% humidity.
Yeah. So waiting on the habanero peppers as well. They're not wanting to turn colors either. So that's what's going on in the garden. We got the new asparagus patch planted. It's doing really well. I'm having a heck of a time keeping the bindweed out of it. Kelly's flowers have been doing amazing all around the property. She was just out tying the roses up today. We're working on the mulch, getting the mulch pile together. You'll see in a couple of videos coming up that we got the hay rake done. We were able to pick up all the grass that we bush hogged around and add that to the mulch pile. And we had the stump grinder guys bring some stuff out. So I don't think we're going to be any shortage of mulch this year. So shoot us any questions, guys. What you got? Becky saying my peppers are slow to turn as well. Yep, we're having that same issue. Some of our bell peppers are doing fine. The jalapenos are doing fine. But those habaneros just kind of hold out and wait for that last part of the season. Cindy says, can't wait to see the new recipes. They're not really new. I'll give you kind of a breakdown of what my diet's like. I'll just give you a brief overview. We plan on doing like a whole video on this topic and maybe more videos on things we throw together for food. So I call it my kind of plug and play diet. It's a mixture of about 5 different diets. And basically what it is I eat 400 calories per meal, and I do 4 meals a day and every 4 hours. So I figure out what 100 calories of something is. And once you've done the diet for a while, you already know. And then when I do a meal and make a meal that I like, I'll write it down so I can replicate that meal at another time. It's really easy, but I've got most of them up in my head now of how much 100 calories is. I even have a book that's called What 100 Calories Looks Like, and it tells you all the different foods and how much of them is 100 calories. Now, 100 or so of those calories in every meal, I like to put in a monounsaturated fatty acid, or we call them MUFAs, which is basically your good fats, olive oil, peanut butter, avocados, all the good fats. I try to include that in every meal. So, and I eat that 4 times a day, so I mix it up. So I'll give you an example of a meal I eat. Like for breakfast, I'll do an egg, and I'll do some breakfast meat. Usually your meat, you figure on about like a deck of card size meat is about 100 calories. I don't count any vegetables at all when in the calorie count, because vegetables are kind of free. But I'll do an egg, I'll do a little bit of meat, I'll do the egg in olive oil, which gives me my fat, and then maybe a little cheese, some Laughing Cow cheese or something like that. Do like a breakfast burrito. For lunch, we do, we found these carb balanced tortillas that are really good that we use a lot for wraps and stuff like that. Do some really good salads. For supper, you know, we'll cook steak or whatever and have a vegetable with that. We eat a lot of tacos, which we can do because we use the avocado for that. It's not hard. There's so many meals. We do pizzas, our little thin crust pizzas. We can do one with about 400 calories on a whole like 12-inch tortilla. It's really good and filling. So that's basically the rundown. I don't want to get too crazy into it because we'll fill you guys in later on that. So Cindy says that you're killing it on the freeze dryer. Yes, she is. We have potatoes in there right now, and another batch of peaches that we couldn't fit in our batch that we did all peaches in. Those videos are up and coming. I created, just today, Kelly doesn't even know this yet, I created a new playlist just for our freeze drying content. So just like any other thing, because there's people on our channel, some of them come for the recipes, some of them come for the garden stuff, some of them come for the shop stuff, you know, tractor stuff. So you can go in the playlist and you can focus on just the content you like. So I've made a playlist of just our freeze drying stuff. So if you showed up on the channel to look at our freeze drying stuff and that's what sparked your interest, you can go to that playlist, and all of our freeze dryer stuff, I've already moved it all in there, is all in that playlist. So same thing with all of our other content. If you only like recipes, I got a recipes playlist. If you only like desserts, I got a dessert playlist. So you can see just the content you want. I've also ordered those playlists to where...
Hi, Kathy.
Ooh, I haven't seen Kathy in a while.
She said you both look awesome.
Thank you. The playlists are ordered to where the oldest videos are last. So especially like if they're in order, say like when we did the Farm All Cub, you obviously want to see the oldest video first because that's where we started. So I've ordered the ones that matter in that kind of order where the oldest ones come up last. So you can click on that playlist and watch that project all the way through, or whatever content you like all the way through.
Facebook set up the same way. I have albums that I put stuff in, so very few things are not organized in an album if I can help it.
Now, Country Fun, Sam, I have yet to see a video from a long time. I keep hounding Matt that he needs to get you on a video.
Yeah, we know there was a garden.
Yeah. And I know I sent some corn down to you guys that you were supposed to mill so we could see how you do it. So please, Sam, come on. Last video I think you got was Matt scratching a cow's head or something. But I want to see your garden.
Now you're gonna get in trouble.
I keep
Get her in
telling
trouble.
her. I know you're busy. That's all right. But we
Not
like,
everybody carries their phone everywhere to do YouTube videos.
yeah, I know. But we have a good time. We went to another auction today. People seem to love the auctions. I think the last auction video we did, I think there's already like 10,000 views on that. It's pretty crazy how people love the auction. So I posted another auction for tomorrow. They have one I actually went to today because I've got like 6 videos ahead so far and I didn't want to put it so far out. So we're going to be doing 3 videos over the next 3 days. So you'll see another one tomorrow. If someone posted today, you'll see another one tomorrow.
To catch up a little bit, Matt, Country Dad, asked if we were going camping this fall. But I'm always hopeful.
Yes, and that's the reason why I'm not working harvest this fall, because we want to do more camping and fishing and stuff like that. We took a camping trip you probably saw in the spring. We've been busy trying to find places to camp because they really don't have camping figured out here in Nebraska. We like camping near water where you can fish and do stuff like that. Camping here in Nebraska is in nice, neat little parking spaces all together about a half a mile away from the lake. So not our kind of camping really. We did find some camping spots up north around the Niobrara River. They're pretty cool. The place we went to this spring was nice. It was right on those ponds, but right now it's too hot to camp. Well, not actually, but you never know when the heat's going to kick in. But we don't have an AC in our camper. We dry camp. So, oh, Ruby saw something outside.
Brandy's probably hunting something and she's jealous.
Yeah, she could be outside. She just chooses not to. But right now the campground is probably absolutely full. And probably not so much now that the kids are back to school, but those campgrounds are probably jam-packed during the summer, and that's not our kind of camping either. We kind of like it to be kind of nice and not so much quiet, but peaceful, and that's why we go camping.
Well, our dogs make it so that we have to kind of not be around too many people too.
Yeah.
They're not the friendliest.
And we got to go to
They love you once they know you, but
pet-friendly places. Now, Kelly says they love you once you know you, but like when our friends Dave and Steph came from Tennessee, they would be fine, and then our friends would walk out of the room for 20 minutes and come back, and then it'd be all over and start barking again. So Ruby's kind of that way.
that's Ruby. She's 10-second Tom.
Yeah, pretty crazy. Who else we got to catch up with here?
Becky asked if we're going to do a review on the freeze dryer. Yes, probably when things slow down a little bit. It's been in constant use, so.
Kelly did a lot of research when she bought that freeze dryer because of the 2 major brands out there. Most of the time on homesteading channels, you're going to see the Harvest Right. But Kelly did a lot of homework and she chose the other brand. So we'll go through that when she does a review. But so far, I really think it's been working great. The one thing I like, it's got the big half sheet pans. And that's, you can do a lot of stuff. I mean, if you're going to run that thing, you might as well run a full load in that thing.
They recommend it.
But she's got all the gizmos and gadgets to go with it too. She's got bag fillers and bag sealers and jar sealers and everything she needs for that thing. So pretty cool. We've been doing a lot of experiments. We did the chicken broth, was super cool. I was surprised how that came out. We're still wanting to make those little soup pouches. We haven't got that done yet, even though, what are we waiting on?
Need to do some carrots.
Got the onions done. We need to do some carrots. So we're probably going to have to buy store-bought carrots because I put all the carrots we grew in the freezer. Still going to do some more green peppers in the freezer, and the celery's not quite done in the garden. We'll put that in the freezer as well. So
And more onions.
Yeah, more onions. The stuff that starts to sprout that we've been out holding out fresh, we'll either freeze dry those or freeze those.
I've still got a bunch of herbs too.
I don't know if the freeze-dried onion video came out yet, but Kelly freeze-dried a bunch of our onions, and then I packaged them all up, and I made some onion powder with it. And part of the process, I'm not going to spoil it, but is some byproducts from that freeze-drying process. Make some other stuff with it too. It's super cool. Just love the stuff so far. She tasted the onion powder I made. She fell in love with it. It's really good. Better,
Yeah.
Much better than store-bought.
I could not believe the difference between that and store-bought. It's crazy how flavorful it is. And even we put bread on top of the onions, it pulls up the scent of the onions so your whole house doesn't smell like it. You're supposed to do the same with garlic. And then Mark ground those up into breadcrumbs, and he was using some in dinner tonight, and I tasted them, and those are amazing. I would probably do onions just to get the breadcrumbs.
Marion Davis said she loved the latest bread video. Give that recipe a try. Kelly came up with it. It's called Amish white bread. It's really good.
I didn't come up with it. It was a recipe I found.
Well, you came up.
I found it.
You came up. You found
Yes.
it. Yeah, that's
I
what
didn't
meant.
create it.
No,
But it's like
she's
the
not
easiest, the easiest bread recipe you'll ever do. It's super easy. It uses yeast, so it's almost foolproof.
Although I think all she's missing is the dress, though. She works as hard at an Amish person, that's for sure.
I gotta lose more weight.
I've seen some pretty chunky Amish people. Anyway, the freeze dryer is so cool, and if you've never freeze dried anything before, the taste is so much better, and even the texture, I want to say. Of course, all things aren't going to come back the way you put them in there.
Undercover Amish Kelly.
Yeah.
Matt, buy your wife a freeze dryer. You won't regret it.
You will not. You definitely will not. The flavor is just so good. Like the milk that we freeze dried, which I think that video hasn't come out yet either. That milk tasted exactly the same as it did before we freeze dried it. Just spot on. I could not believe it. The cream even rose back to the top of the jar after we reconstituted it. It's so cool.
The cilantro tastes like fresh cilantro.
The onions
Even
that we
not
just did.
Reconstituted.
I just rehydrated some onions the day that I packaged them because I wanted to try them, I think, in my omelet that morning. And when I put the water in them and stirred them up, that immediately got that pungent green onion smell, the raw onion smell. And I would have thought that would not have come back after the freeze drying process, but it immediately smelled like fresh chopped onions. I could not believe it. The texture was different, of course, but if you're putting them in soups and stews and omelets and stuff like that, the texture doesn't matter. You just want the flavor. Just unbelievable. I've been really enjoying the freeze-dried stuff. Plus, it can sit 25 years or so in the fruit cellar. So, absolutely amazing. One thing we're looking at here on the homestead that we've been working on, we've been researching emergency water sources. All we have here on the homestead is our residential, well, it's not residential, but our regular well here. It's not a farm well or irrigation well, anything like that. It's just a 4-inch casing well. And the biggest issue with it, it goes down so deep. I think the water's like at 180 static level, but our pump's down to like 230 or something like that because they needed to get below the nitrates in the water column because of the fertilizers and stuff got into the water column. But it was hard to find a emergency pump that would go down that far. They have pumps that you can put in your well right alongside your pipe that goes to your pump, and it's a manual hand pump. But to get down as deep as we needed to is going to be about $6,000 for the one company that we quoted. That was looked like it was a well-made, all stainless steel product and everything. But because of the distance we had to go down, it got crazy. And I've since called our well guy, who's pretty knowledgeable, real nice guy. And he said we probably don't have the room to put that down there anyway, even though the companies say you can. So we're exploring other options. We're starting to look at water storage. Some of you may have seen the video where I start putting our empty canning jars in the root cellar with water in them. Might as well put them in there full. You know, they're just sitting there empty, wasting space. So starting to do a little bit of that. I want to do it in like the quart jars because the little jars just don't make any sense. But whenever they go through the dishwasher, I just put our super hot tap water in it, and it reseals as it cools, and I can put that water down in the root cellar for storage. Kelly has since bought us some water storage containers, so we're going to get some of that going. Maybe put try to get like 300 gallons of water stored in the basement. We can't store it outside because of the freezing in the winter. Maybe someday I would like to look at putting a cistern out in the yard that catches rainwater, and then we could pipe that underground into the basement to where it wouldn't freeze either, and we would have a water source that we could access from indoors. Or long term, after we get a lot of more of our wanna-dos done, maybe drilling another well. The well guy told me it's about 28 cents a foot for a well. So what we would need is going to cost, what did I say, around $7,500 or something like that to drill a new well, not to replace the one we have now, but maybe, like he said, put it right underneath the windmill, because that's a fully functional windmill and it will pump water. Hey, Steffi. That's our friend from Tennessee. She's got a freeze dryer too. But putting a well underneath that windmill would be a game changer, because then the windmill would pump the water and it wouldn't matter that it's that deep. We've got it there. So maybe someday down the line, once we get all this other stuff done, which is going to be a while, maybe we can put a well underneath the windmill. That would be a game changer. Let's see. Becky says you can grow some onions now. We could probably plant them now, but I don't think they're going to bulb up before winter.
I thought about trying carrots. I think we probably have enough time to get another batch of carrots.
Maybe.
They do better in the cold. They get sweeter.
I don't know well, yeah. As long as you can get them out of the ground. You know how the ground gets when it freezes.
Lick tub them.
Oh, lick tub. Okay. Yeah, that's where we grew them this year. You guys need more whole wheat flour. Well, we would never say no, Matt. It would even be fun if you would show yourself grinding it. You're going to get mad at me for keep hammering you on these videos.
Didn't they have a video on that?
I believe
I think they had a video where there was a group going through that.
Yeah.
That they were milling.
And Matt, I can still get you corn if you want some more corn this year. I still got my connection, so. Hard to believe that's been almost a year. Harvest is almost here. Oh, let's see here. I was going to send one of your aprons home that you sent home with Ramona, but I forgot to send it. So now I got to send it to her in whatever package is going out there next. I got so much stuff that needs to go out to my friend Matt from these auctions we've been having around here, because I know the stuff that he wants out there in California, because there's nowhere near the access to the stuff that sells here for old tractors and stuff like that. They don't have a lot of that out there like we do here. So he's in a community out there where they do a lot of the tractor restorations and all that, but the parts just aren't readily available. So I've been finding stuff here for him. And then he forgot to take the last box home with him when they went home here recently. So I'm thinking about maybe driving my truck out in March when I go out and visit in March and take it all out there. Or my buddy Steve should be coming in around Thanksgiving, and maybe we can send it home with him. So we got to catch up with anybody else?
I don't think so.
Country Dad said, did you get your weed eater head working again? When I bought the new head, it works fine. Thank you for telling me how the old head worked, because I did not have that figured out, and that's why I went and bought the new head, because I thought that thing was stupid. Well, once you showed me how it worked, I'm the one that felt stupid. It's a pretty cool design.
Oh, Becky said she sorry for the miscommunication. She meant you know how to grow some onions.
Oh,
She
thank
wasn't
you.
saying grow some. You can grow some more. She was saying you know how to grow them.
They come out really well. My dad grew onions his whole life, and I learned from the best. And then I got the one trick. I don't know if you all watch MarKelly Farm. We watch him on a regular basis. Um, they planted them in that mulch like that, and it actually they put their bulbs above ground almost, so they were able to bulb out unrestricted. But the way Dad did it, he planted his regular depth, but he was out there like every day or two with a hoe, making sure that dirt around them was loose so they could bulb up real nice. But yeah, we had a great onion harvest this year, and did a lot better with the storage this year than we did last year because I left them out in the garden and they got sunburnt or something where the moisture got to them, and half of them rotted last
I
year.
think they sat on the ground too long.
Yeah, that was a travesty.
I have freeze dried some tomatoes, Connie. They were store bought ones because ours hadn't even started. I don't even think ours were in the ground yet when I tried those. I just wanted to see when it came time. But I just kept them in slices. I used them one day instead of bread on tuna fish. I put tuna fish on them and ate them that way, and it was pretty good. Ours haven't started turning colors yet, so we haven't really been harvested very many. There's been a few. There's a handful in the dish drainer right now. But once we do that and we start canning our sauce, any of the remnants that come off of them that Mark cuts off or peels off or whatever are going to go in the freeze dryer, and then we'll powder that up. Yep.
See you, Cindy. Say hi to Homer for me. You guys need to come visit. Make that dude retire.
Yeah, right.
Have some fun. See if he'll ride on the back of your motorcycle.
That'd be a long ride out here on a motorcycle.
Yeah. Country Dad says, funny story is I have a real good friend named Mark. Pretty cool. I've known Matt since high school. I met him freshman year in high school. We were in the ag department together. So he's one of the few people I've stayed in contact with, what's the word I'm looking for? Regularly. There's only a couple people from high school that I still keep in touch with. That same way with my job. There's only a handful of people that I even talk with on a regular basis. Let's see. He's known his friend Mark since high school. Pretty crazy. Cindy says Brian's never going to get on the back of that motorcycle.
Oh, I thought she meant retire.
Put him on an airplane. Yeah, maybe she's saying he's never going to retire. Guy's a workaholic, but he loves what he does. He's got a dream shop that he works in every day. I could hang out there all day. Got some really cool tools. Becky says you're very organized. Still got 21 people here. So what else is going on, babe?
Mostly garden.
We're excited for volleyball to be starting back up.
We're collecting stuff for the bathroom renovation.
Oh yeah, big bathroom thing.
That's coming up hopefully this winter.
Mom's here.
How are the guinea keats? They're doing good. So Mark calls them the teenagers. The first group that hatched that I'm keeping have started going outside and walking around free ranging this week. And they're doing pretty good. I've only had to chase them back into the run a couple of times at night. They figured it out last night because we weren't home until after dark. But they were all in there. They kind of keep to themselves. The older ones are still shooing them away and not wanting to bring them on, so.
I call them the dodo birds, the big ones, because that's what they remind me of. They're so crazy. They're very skittish birds. And it's weird, even the young ones are skittish, even though she raised them, hand raised them.
Well, they're used to things eating them. So.
Yeah, it's good that they have that defense mechanism.
And Ruby doesn't help calm that fear.
No. Country Dad says, have you ever got your ice cream maker for your John Deere engine yet? No, I do not. That's another $1,500 that I would need to spend. I'm going to try to put together pieces of it locally and just maybe buy the ice cream freezer and buy all the pulleys and other things locally so I could get it a little cheaper. But we've got other priorities like the bathroom remodel that we want to do. So it's just not on the front burner. I wanted to get it done by the 4th of July, but that didn't happen. And then we got in on the Cub too. So I'm glad I got the engine done and it's ready to go. In fact, I've got to build a cart for it. That'll be upcoming soon. Got the hardware for that from my mailman. Got a cart that some of you may have seen already. But I've got the wood to build that cart too, so we need to build that. And one of these days, we'll pull the trigger and we'll get that ice cream freezer maybe by next July 4th. We had kind of a tragedy this July 4th. One of the kids had a firework blow up in his hand. It was a mortar, so kind of ended the party early. But he's okay. Still has all his fingers, missing just a little part of one. But kids, boys will be boys playing teenage games, so hopefully they learn from it. Let's see here. What else we got going on? Been mowing and hoeing like all summer. It's been insane.
Yeah, did same things.
Yeah.
Weed the garden, water the garden, pull from the garden, freeze dry the garden, mow the grass, and then start over.
It's just go time right now, so we've been so busy. What'd you grow this year, Sam? I haven't seen a video from you, so I don't know what you got in your garden.
He's gonna keep beating that dead horse until you release something.
He's gonna kill me.
Just give him a little 2 minutes of something.
Yeah, give me something.
You ever gonna do a beer making video? Dave wants to know.
Beer making? Dave, I don't make beer.
Red noodle beans.
Ooh.
Are those long skinny ones?
Yeah, those the big long ones. I think I've seen those on, what channel was that?
I don't know, I've seen the purple ones, and when you cook them, they turn green.
It was a lady that moved to South Carolina, North Carolina or something. No, we don't watch anymore.
Oh, Roots and Refuge?
Oh, yeah. You've seen them on that channel. Country Dad said they're good. Jack's mama. How is Mom? Enjoy seeing her when she makes an appearance. Mom's doing good. I'm very thankful for the facility that she's in. The level of care that she gets there is just amazing. The people are so on the ball there, and they keep her real busy. They haven't let her start running the place yet, but that won't be long. She'll be telling them what to do and when to do it and all that. But I go see her 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, when I go in for coffee with the boys. And she's doing great. She loves it there. I'm so glad she's here in Nebraska because she wouldn't be getting this level of care in California. Kelly used to work in healthcare in California, and she could tell you some of the horror stories. And I used to work ambulance and go into those places and pick people up to take them into the hospital, into the ER. And boy, some of the stories I could tell you about those homes out in California, but could not be happier she's here. I wish my pop would have had a place like this, but we just weren't in the position to get out of California at the time. So Mom's doing great. I sit down and puzzle with her. That's her main thing that she does, is puts puzzles together, and anything that the place needs done there, whether it be arranging flowers for the tables or little fundraiser crafty things that she does, they always come and get her to do it. So they keep her busy. They love her to death there. So it's been working out good. Mom's doing great, and we'll put her on here one of these days.
Country Fun said she made beer and then didn't drink it. I made a flavored ginger ale out of white grape juice, and it turned into wine on me. So,
Now,
but it was good. I don't drink, but it was good.
I can make wine, and I've done it in the past. It was before my YouTube stuff. Made some wine out in California. It was fantastic. I haven't done it here yet. I've made vinegar here. But I thought about doing that with some of maybe our apple cider this year. But I really don't drink alcohol, so it's more of a novelty thing. So every now and then I'll have a beer socially or something. Like if it's really hot outside, a cold beer really slides down nice. But it's just not something I keep in the fridge.
Becky asked about the property we saw along the river if we decided to pass on it. It ended up being not a good deal. We basically would have only been able to use it like to day trip. They have some pretty strict guidelines on the land, so we wouldn't have been able to do a lot on it like we'd want to. We weren't supposed to leave our trailer there to camp on for longer than 2 weeks. We couldn't make an outhouse or any type of structure thing on it. We could have never built a house on it.
Not even a tree house. Not even a portable shed.
We couldn't have pushed out paths to make it a four-wheeler track or anything like that. So there was a lot of restrictions. Basically, you could camp and you could fish and you can hunt on it, and
you could basically visit the place.
Yeah, being right on the river, you had people looking at you and watching what you're doing, so it wouldn't even have been a good deal to kind of be secretive about what you were doing on it too. So
the weird thing was the current, well, I don't want to say the current owner because they did sell it to somebody, and the price was like a big secret. The guy that owned it before, when he bought the place, it wasn't that way. They zoned it later as like a flood deal, floodplain or something, preserve or something, and really crapped on his property value. So that was terrible for him.
Becky wants to know if we're originally from Nebraska. We're not.
Nope.
Been here almost 4 years though, and we'll probably die here.
Kelly was from the Midwest though. She was from Illinois.
Yeah. Mark was from California and never been anywhere else.
Well, lived anywhere else.
Lived anywhere else, yeah. I'd lived in several different places. I was in Colorado for a little while, Seattle for a little while, California for a little while.
I had been visiting here for a long time. That's what brought me to Nebraska. I have family here. My dad's sister and her husband came here years ago because he had a harvesting business, and all of the grain dried up out in California. They stopped growing it. So he had to follow the harvest, so he moved his family back here into the Midwest where he could still do his harvesting business. And that was back in 1982. And then we used to come out and visit. My dad used to come out and disc for my uncle before planting season. My uncle would follow him with the planter. And then my dad got to be too old to do that. Not so much too old, but went into the home and could no longer function in that capacity. So I started coming out and helping my uncle and really loved it here in Nebraska. It felt like 40 years ago in California when kids could still be kids. I mean, you could go to a football game and just disappear. Your folks wouldn't see you till, you were leaving. But I still had that feel here in Nebraska. There wasn't any theft here. There was no graffiti. There was just no shenanigans going on here in Nebraska. So I told Kelly, if we ever move out of California, it'll be to Nebraska, and that's where we ended up. And we just love it here. We got so lucky with this place. We were looking at my aunt and uncle's place, but they weren't ready to sell it yet. And that was actually a blessing because we really love this place here. We love the family that had it before us. We still visit them, love them to death. And I think Kelly would agree. In fact, I think Kelly's the one that said it. When we drove onto this property, she felt like it was home that very first time when we did the tour. She said, this feels like home driving in here. So it was just weird. It worked out great. Let's see.
Connie asks about the freeze-dried food losing nutrition and changing calories.
That's the good thing.
I don't know about the calorie thing. I've never seen anything on it, so I'm not sure if it does or doesn't. I can't speak on that. The nutrition, it depends on the way it's processed. You have to find the heat point for the food that you're doing and make sure that the the shelves don't surpass that heat point. So like for a lot of the herbs, you don't want to go any higher than a 90-degree shelf temp. You don't want them to heat up any more than that, or they'll start to lose their nutritional value. And the good thing about the freeze dryers is it has preset settings for, I don't know, I think there's 6 different presets on there. And you can edit them if you need the raise or lower the temp for some reason. And so like on the green setting that they have, I've lowered the temp down to 90 degrees on that one permanently, just so that when I stick my herbs in, it's not ruining the nutrition in the food that it's doing. And it doesn't, Ruby's digging in her toy box. It doesn't hurt the food to drop the temperature on it. It just takes longer to process the food then. So if you're dropping temperature, you're just going to have a longer freeze dry time, which herbs are not really anything. I think you can do them in less than 24 hours, probably closer to 12 or 18.
She amazing or what? It's already a freeze dry pro. She just got the thing this spring. She does her homework, that's for sure.
Well, there's a lot of Facebook groups and social media groups. And
had you done your homework when you met me?
Nope. I was blindsided by you, literally.
Country Dad, you had quite the garden look like this year. What do you do with the loofah? Do you make like the back scrubber thing?
I thought about growing that too.
We should grow a loofah. Stephanie said the ginger ale was very good. She tried it while they were here. Mom, don't forget to bring me something to tie up the celery. We have a garden going there at Mom's facility, and I planted some celery, and I need to go tie it. So she's reminded me for Monday to bring that to tie up their celery. The people there that worked at the facility, they couldn't believe that we were growing celery. How do you grow celery? I've never heard of people growing celery. I'm like, well, where do you think celery comes from?
The grocery store.
You can grow celery, but they've never seen it grown. But now they're watching it. Some of the staff, they go out in the garden every like day or two, and they've been picking the cucumbers and everything, and they process them in the kitchen and feed the people there at the facility. They've been loving that stuff. So not getting any tomatoes though. They'll have cantaloupe soon and watermelons, and the cucumber vines here have been going crazy. Country Fun says we are growing several varieties of fall squash, pinto beans, green beans, turnips, radishes, tomatoes for fall. That sounds amazing. That would make an amazing video. She's gonna backhand me here in a minute.
Just make sure you warn me if you send the glitter bomb so he opens it up outside.
Yeah, by myself. Yikes, I don't blame you for passing. Passing on what? Did you
on the property.
Oh, yes.
That's why you keep skipping ahead.
Oh, I'm trying to stay on
Connie,
top
I don't know where Curtis, Nebraska is, so I can't really tell you. If you give us a more general location, we can tell you. We're smack dab in the middle of Nebraska.
Right, dead center. David said he's looking forward to Thanksgiving. Our friends Dave and Steph, we plan on going there for Thanksgiving. We did that last year as well, as long as they can tolerate our dogs again. That's always an experience. And our buddy Steve and Renee, they meet us out there too usually. Let's see.
Thank you, Becky and Sam. We love our place.
Yes. A lot of work.
Oh, Sam, I would love to try loofah. I'm not sure if Mark would give up a section of his garden to try it, but it would be fun.
There's plenty of room in the garden.
Jack's mama, you want to see how our garden is doing? It's green and overgrown right now, but there's no weeds because Mark goes out there so frequently.
No weeds. I don't go that frequently. I haven't been out there in a week. Our weed seed bank is very low.
The new asparagus is doing really, really good. I was just out there. I drove around it today on the 4-wheeler.
That's going to be nice. Let's see. You probably don't need to send us any seed for loofah because I'm sure they have it in town.
Like an arrow seed or something?
Somebody's got seeds for that, I'm sure. If not, we could get it from probably like Baker Creek or something like that. But thank you for the offer. You guys already send way too much to us.
We have 2 arches that we grow stuff on. I asked to have them put in for my sugar snap peas, and somebody took them over for their tomatoes this year. And then wasn't going to plant my sugar snap peas.
I put a little patch
Yeah,
over.
but they didn't do very well. Next year I get it back for sugar snap peas.
Jack's mama said, "Oh, you should show how their garden is doing." Our garden,
That's what I just was talking about.
every now and then it's on the video. You should have one, well, the onion video that's already out, you should see most of the garden on that if you wanted to go look.
I don't do too many pictures of the garden on Facebook because that's more Mark's project. I wait till stuff is harvesting and then I go out there.
Loofah scrubs for the kitchen too. You can
Yeah,
eat
that would be neat.
You can eat them like fried squash. I have a zucchini squash recipe I'm going to be doing a video on that I want to try.
Country Dad's using your free 99.
Free 99. I got a good zucchini recipe for like zucchini, like a pancake, that you can eat them sweet or savory. One of our good subscribers, our local subscribers, Kathy, she gave me that video. You'll see at her some of the auction videos because they go to a lot of the auctions. In fact, they help with a lot of auctions. So.
Oh, Jack's mama wants to see the one at the nursing home, the garden at the nursing home.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take a shot of that. Loofah arch would look beautiful. So you do grow it on an arch.
Yeah, because they hang down.
How's my phone dying? I had it 100% charge.
Because it's your old phone.
Okay.
So when do you normally plant yours, Sam or Becky? I don't know if Becky's in a cold climate.
Do you take the seeds right from the loofahs that you grow and save those? They're not like a hybrid where you got to plant new seeds.
You let them dry on the plant, and then I think you skin them, don't you? I think you skin them, but when you take them off the plant, once they're dry, you can hear the seeds moving around inside the loofah.
Gotcha.
That's how you know they're ready to pick.
Now the previous donor grew some gourds, and those darn gourds are still back here in the weeds where he threw them. Man, those things last forever.
We cleaned up that garden in spring not even spring, it was January of 2021. Those were thrown back there.
Yeah.
Pulled off the vine, so
those still there.
They're going on 4 years of sitting back there in the weeds and the moisture and still not decomposing.
How, Ruby? What are you doing down there?
She's got her ball.
Not on my foot.
After last possible freeze, April 15th for us.
Yeah, it's middle of May for us generally. They say not to plant out before Mother's Day here.
I have to look and see if the grow time falls before our...
So we would plant them around the same time. I plant everything in the greenhouse April 1st. Well, I don't want to say everything, but a lot of the stuff we put in the garden, we plant April 1st in the greenhouse. Becky's in Lincoln. Plant them in the mid to late May, yep. After Mother's Day. But we'll do everything in the greenhouse April 1st. Kelly's planted some stuff downstairs in the basement in her little grow area. The stuff that's real easy to grow in the garden from seed, I usually just start in the garden. But this year I wanted to get a jump on some of it, so I planted a lot of it in the greenhouse. I end up giving so much of that away because I go crazy. Like when I start tomatoes, I can't throw away that little tomato seedling, after I get what I want transplanted. I just can't bring myself to throw those away because they sprouted. So I transplant every darn one of those things, and I think this year I ended up with 150 tomato plants I had to give away. But everybody liked them.
Well, if they transplant well, then I can start them in the basement.
Yeah.
Move them out to the greenhouse when it gets warmer. And...
So loofah plant transplant, we could plant them in the greenhouse too. Would not be hard. That new fan in the greenhouse has been amazing. Been a real game changer. Can I turn that thing off, by the way? Because there's nothing really left out there.
Yeah, I just need to transplant those couple of
Because it'll get
asparagus.
hot. It'll get hot when I turn it off.
The nasturtiums are about done anyways.
Let them get completely dry. The skin will get almost leathery. You'll hear the seeds rattle. And I'm assuming she's talking about loofah?
Yeah. She said, yeah. She's in Lincoln,
So Becky
she
plants
must grow 'em
loofah too. Every time I hear the word loofah, I don't know how many of you watched that Caddyshack movie back in, what is it, the 80s or 70s or what it was? I always picture the old lady with the loofah. Will you loofah my back? Kelly gets tired of my
Mark speaks in lyrics and movie quotes.
movie quotes, yeah.
If there's anything you know about him, it's lyrics and movie quotes.
Me and my kids speak in lyrics and movie quotes. Country Dad knew what I was talking about. He watched that movie. Well, it's been fun, guys. It's been about an hour. Do we have anything else we want to cover? I'm trying to think. We'll get the kind of the diet plan video put together here before long. I'm down 55 pounds. What are you down?
48 and a half.
48 and a
The
half.
half matters.
So
Just like I'm 5'2.5".
over 100 between the both of us. So that's cool. I'm wearing my high school pant size, which is square 36. Pretty cool. And I'm down to extra large shirts instead of 3X. That's amazing. We joined the gym because getting a lot of loose skin that we got to take care of. So trying to get some of that filled out. And that'll work good for the winter too, because the winters are rough when it gets super cold, like 30 below. I don't want to go out in the shop because it just takes too much to get the shop to where I can work out there. So I end up sitting in my chair too much. So with this, I can go to the gym like I am now 3 times a week. When I go in for coffee, I go to the gym afterwards. Kelly goes after work. But
That's most of why we started eating separately too, is because I go to work, go to the gym, and by the time I come home, it's 7 or 7:30, and so he's already eaten, so I just grab what I need.
Jeffrey Oliveira's here. He's recently won the t-shirt. It should be just about to you. It's been ordered. She's the one that answered the toaster question on the last video. Started watching you when you put the Cub video and been watching since. Wanted to say very impressive the knowledge you have. Love the channel. Thank you so much. We love you guys.
That's a 36-38 rectangle.
Rectangle. The 38, the length, right? Because you're pretty tall. Isn't it hard to find that size? I know
Not
when you get
go on down in the waist size.
when you get into the upper sizes, when I was like 44 waist, you cannot find 36 length pants. Crazy. They think people with 44-inch waists are short and fat. They don't realize
Tractor Supply.
there's long-legged people.
Tractor Supply's got it going on.
Well, Baumgart's had it going on the other day. They were much better.
Well, they're pretty similar.
But even Tractor Supply doesn't have the long length for
When
the
you
big
go to
width.
the smaller waist, yeah, for the big guys, they don't.
Smaller waist is easy. But thank you, Jeffrey. I appreciate that. I've done lots of things in my life, so you gain a little bit of experience from every little thing you do in life. It's what I like to tell all these young kids. Everything you do in life is a building block for the next thing you do. So it's pretty cool. I've done so much stuff, everything from welding to construction to firefighting, emergency EMT stuff, law enforcement, farming, you name it. Done a lot. But best thing I've ever done is marry this woman right here. 3rd time's the charm. Could not have done better. Fantastic.
I'm a quick
lady.
learner. He's my first.
Well, your first marriage.
Yeah.
So, her last boyfriend up and died on her, so I'm trying not to do that.
He wasn't trying to get away or anything.
No. Diabetic, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I don't want to go down that road. Country Dad's 6'5" and my arms are just as bad. Well, of course, you must have not seen that video, the onion video. Did you know you're as wide as you are tall from fingertip to fingertip is the same as you are this way? So if you measure fingertip for fingertip, you should be 6'5".
From elbow to wrist is your shoe size too. Or your foot
Really?
size. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to put my foot up there and check that.
And what was it Becky taught us the other day? Your earlobes are in line with your nipples?
I don't know if I heard that one. Which Becky?
Your Becky.
My Becky said that. My husband was Luck at Atwood's for 34 link jeans. Roxanne Sellers. Hi, Roxanne. I didn't see you come on. Country Dad said, yes, I know that. David says we're making them chuckle. And yes, Stephanie, we are perfect together. I agree. Couldn't ask for a better woman. No drama in my life whatsoever. That's the way to live. So we're a little over an hour. I'll try to do some lives more often, but we just don't have that much to talk about. But
We can do another one after we do the eating the food video, and
Yeah,
then if
you
they
can
have
do
more
that.
specific questions.
absolutely. So
Biggest
Dad
thing to
said-
know is just to cut out processed foods. That's been most of our successes, especially mine. I'm a little more vigilant about it than he is, but
It's a little easier for her because she doesn't have the sugar issues I do. So she doesn't have to watch her diet like I do. But she's wearing a monitor just like me. If you're type 2 diabetic or whatever, get one of those. That is an absolute game changer. You can see immediately what certain foods do to you, and you can avoid those foods or adjust the amounts of them. So if I was able to have one of those years ago, I probably would have done a lot better with my
but that
diabetes.
only monitors your sugar. You still got to watch your fat. You still got to
Yes.
watch your chemicals, and most of your processed foods contain all of that.
Yeah, we've almost cut out all processed foods. Anything that comes out of a box, we don't eat it.
Well, we've gone basically carb free too, especially except for the carb balance tortillas.
Yes.
I can't talk.
I'm slowly adding some carbs back in because I'm realizing that carbs aren't as bad as everybody says they are for diabetics. They don't spike me that bad as long as it's in moderation and you don't go crazy and you don't load them up with higher carb stuff. I've added wheat toast back into my diet for breakfast and it doesn't spike me at all. So it's been nice.
But again, you're eating processed foods. You're not eating homemade bread, so you're
Oh,
adding
yeah,
processed stuff back into it that contains
Yeah.
chemicals and stuff that your body shouldn't need.
But
Same with the lunch meats.
if it keeps going okay with the bread, I might start making some here for sandwiches. The problem is that raises the calorie count when you're eating the bread like that. It's not a balanced carb like those other things that we're eating. So when you start adding things that are higher in calorie content, then you're lowering the amount of food that you're eating, and it just doesn't satisfy you anymore. So that's why I try to avoid that stuff. Country Dad said the American Gothic picture was great. That was fun. I've been wanting to do that for a while. Roxanne liked it too. Jeffrey said, I watched the radio show program video you did. That's when I saw all that you've done. Yeah. That was fun. I want to go back and visit those guys again. I'm going to take them some melons when we got some melons done and take them in. I'm going to wear my Chicago Bear shirt though and drive Dave crazy. So we're going to wrap it up. Love you guys. We'll come back. Combining carbs with protein also helps to slow their entry into the bloodstream. Yes. I've also heard, I don't know if it's true, if you eat your vegetables first, that it slows down something else. Sugars or something. I don't know. May not be true. Thank you, Country Dad.
Just because Facebook says it doesn't mean it's true.
I know. Well, I can test it now. Love you guys. We'll see you next time. Hopefully it won't be as long next time. So stay safe, stay healthy.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye.
What do I press to stop this thing?
I guess they're with us forever.
Oh no, I'm gonna have to carry you around the house. Oh, is that it?
Nope.
That's not it. Share? We can't stop you. How about the X?
Oh, maybe.
That was it. That did it.